Good morning, guys. Dakota back with another video, and today we're gonna get into some more market analysis. Again, we have these market analysis every single Monday at 7 a.m. and basically what I do, I just go over the charts I'm paying attention to for the week, and any charts that you guys want to talk about in the live chat, post them in the live chat. I'll be sure to go over them before the call-ins. Also, if you want to keep up with the charts and see how they play out or other analysis that I do throughout the week, go and click the link in the description to the Discord channel, and if you want to follow me on Instagram, link down there as well. But let's get into this. Alright, so still paying attention to the same pairs I paid attention to pretty much last week. I'm actually in dollar or pound dollar right now. I entered last week at around until last week on Friday for this buyer. Okay, so we'll see how that played out. It's not that great of a move. The R is only 3, so about 3.5. So it could be way better. I'm actually working on improving this entry or improving the ratio on this type of move, especially on a daily setup. There's no reason that should be a 3, but it's just some work I have to do in the background before I apply it to my live trading. Alright, so first pair we'll go over is pound dollar. Let's go to GBP and let's go to Forex, delete everything, do the full markup. If you don't know my strategy is very, very simple. Just goes like this. You got your impulse. Your impulse tells you the direction the market wants to go, right? So it can be up or it can be down. After the impulse, you get your correction, which is small consolidating candles going the opposite direction of the impulse. And all that's doing is just confirming that the market still wants to go up, right? Or still wants to go in the same direction as the impulse. Okay, then after that we have another impulse, right? And that's the move that we're looking for. And we're eyeing the bottom of this correction and entering there to catch a buy there. Catch that next impulse move. Alright, that's the strategy in a whole. And if we look at it on the downside, impulse down, small consolidating candles going the opposite direction of the impulse, then continuation down, looking to enter at the top of that correction there. Alright, so that's pretty much what we're looking for, or what I look for every time I look at the chart. And just to give a few examples of them, you can see here we have an impulse, we have a correction, we have an impulse, we have a correction, we have this impulse, and then we have small consolidating candles going in the same direction as the impulse, which is basically just a reversal, which led to this down move. Alright, so it has to be the opposite, or ideally it's the opposite. There are, of course, cases where it doesn't have to be, but if you're just starting off using this, yeah, make sure you wait for an opposite direction of the impulse. And I'd like to see at least one example of it to the downside. We have an impulse here, small consolidating candles going the opposite direction, impulse here, small consolidating candles, impulse, small, impulse, small, continuation, right? That's pretty much it. And like what I just did is pretty good practice for this strategy. Like if you just go to the beginning of the chart, I would say either on the 4 hour or 1 hour time frame, go all the way to the beginning and just find every single instance of that until you get to current price. It's pretty good practice. But let's get into the markup on dollars or pound dollar. So on the monthly, I'm gonna box price in my horizontal lines and just box price in to basically trap price to a point where it can only make pretty much go in pretty much one direction. Because my lines are telling me every time price hits this line, price generally or usually goes this way, and right? And every line that I draw on my chart is a zone. It's not just a line. That's very important because a lot of people think like just because you have a line there, it has to hit that line exactly. It doesn't have to hit the line exactly. At least not on my charts. As long as it's in that general area, I'm pretty confident in what I'm looking at, and I know what I'm waiting for when price reaches certain zones. Alright, so box price in, we see every time price is here, shot up about 2,000 pips, up there, shot down about 2,000 pips. We see that price is scaling up to this area. I'd like for it to actually come up to this area a lot closer, because we do have a pretty significant distance from it, about 122 pips. So I'm looking for a price to scale up a little bit higher, but ultimately after price potentially scales up higher, at that point I like to see a correction here, or an impulse breaking this trend line, a correction confirming that price wants to go down, and continuation down to this zone again. Alright, and my first target would be down here, but that's just thinking pretty long term. Let's work our way down to the daily time frame. Reset this and tighten up the trend line. Alright, so here we can see price has just been on a uptrend, although it's been a pretty sad uptrend that's been catching a lot of people on sales. I know a lot of people have been actually selling this all the way up, and I was one of them. Like, starting from down here, I was trying to sell the top every single time, but price just kept on trickling up, and eventually converted to, let's just go with the trend now. Alright, so like I said, on the higher time frame, if price breaks the trend line, I'll look for an opportunity to sell. But as long as price is above this trend line, I'm looking for opportunities to buy. And especially since price hasn't actually reached this area just yet, it's about 120, 130 pips off. I need to see price scale up a little bit higher. So let's box price in a little bit better here. Okay, here off the daily, you can kind of see a downtrend here, but if we work down to our 4 hour, it's a lot clearer, and we can tighten or fine tune it a little bit. Here we have an impulse, we got a pattern here, and then we have an impulse, and price is just trickling right here. We have the potential to form a descending channel. If that does come, I will look for an opportunity to enter. Well, in this scenario, I'm not entering right now, but usually I'd wait for a I'm not looking to enter because I already have a position on here, and like I'm reserving my capital for, what was it, move on GN. Alright, but usually this is what I would like to see on GBP/USD. I'd like for it to trickle down a little bit further, and then my definite confirmation that price is going to continue up is to break this trend line, and then possibly on the 1 hour time frame. Definitely not the 4 hour. I don't see another correction forming on the 4 hour like this. I'll look for a buy opportunity and look for a price to continue up to there. I believe I already sent out the setup for this one too. Yep. Alright, we'll get on that. So that is pound dollar. Let's go to Euro JPY. Okay, Euro yen. we enter for a buy, or I enter for a buy here in this area, and looking for price to actually break through here. Last week, unfortunately, I got a pattern telling me to get out of the trade, so I had to get out. There is another possible entry here, and then if price does play out from that point, or let me just say, price has the potential to form a triangle here, which this would be my entry off that triangle, which what I need price to do is actually come down to the zone. It hasn't actually reached that zone just yet, so I'm not going to be entering until it does, or if it does. And I look for my entry pattern and look to buy. Now my initial target is going to be this high here. If price continues to push, or depending on how price reacts to that area, I'll look to set my targets higher. Of course, that has potential to scale up all the way here, but I'm not going for that much. Let me check what I had. Okay, about in that area, 130.47. But let's mark this up and make sure it still holds true. So monthly. And of course, if that trend line breaks, like the move's invalid. Again, if you guys have any pairs that you want to go over, go ahead and type in the live chat. I'll be sure to go over it afterwards, after I get through my 4 pairs. All right, I'm on the 2 months. So we have an uptrend here. I'll draw that. Now we can see that price basically gave us an impulse here, gave us a correction here. It's given us an impulse here. Hasn't really given us at least a weekly correction just yet. So it'd be a good idea to start eyeing an area where price could potentially turn around to form that. And I'm actually liking this area here because we've had a pretty strong rejection from that area pretty recently. Well, back in 2018. Recently, according to the price. So reset that. Okay, I see a smaller time frame uptrend there. And I actually like the idea of a daily correction as well to pull back to this level. Let me reset this real quick. Nope, still can't draw anything there. I'm gonna go ahead and box out this supply zone, just an area where I'm looking to sell potentially. And then on the 4 hour, it looks like I'm gonna have to draw a new demand zone, which I'll draw it there if it does need me to draw one. But other than that, yeah, I don't see a need to draw anything else right now. Let's go down to the 4 hour. Now here on the 4 hour, I do have my setup as this forming in a possible bullish flag. Still valid. So if price does continue to scale down, reaches this level again, still have my alerts there, so I will enter there. So there's basically 2 opportunities for a potential buy. We have the triangle, and we have, as it goes lower, this area, which is about, what price level is this at? 128, 128.48. Alright, and that's about the 61.8 level, so it's a very strong area, so definitely be looking to buy there. And this markup's already sent out, so you guys should already have the details on that. But if the triangle does hold, should be looking for that entry today. We'll just use the trend line as the bottom part. Then for extra confirmation, price breaks this high, would be great. And then if it breaks that high, we're looking to target that area. Yeah, let me keep this as a secondary zone. To be quite honest with you, I don't like this setup right now. And the reason I don't like this setup is because it's not one of my patterns. It's not a pattern that I recognize to form here. Like initially I was looking for an expanding triangle here, but right now it's not looking to me like an expanding triangle at the moment. Like if price gets down to this area, you have an angled top and then just a flat bottom, which isn't one of the patterns that I trade, that I recognize. I need this to be slanted to actually go lower here. Yeah, that's not it. Not liking it, not liking it. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to cancel this setup. If I can't recognize the pattern, I can't take the trade. So now that that setup's no longer valid, I'm looking for prices to get on here for potential buy. And if it does end up playing out, I mean, whatever. Like, can't do anything about that. I'll just track it, and if that like shape, if I recognize that that shape like plays out a majority of the time, it'll be added into my system, but not right now. Looks like I didn't send out a setup for your JPY on Friday. So I gotta type out all the deets. So I should So if you do want all the details that I type out and the actual screenshots, link to the Discord channel is in the description. If you go to D4X analysis, you'll be able to access it. Now, I know a lot of people actually have some issues with getting into the chat. I see people join the chat, and after they join the chat, either one, they message me telling me that they can't get in the chat, or two, I'm about to reach out to them and I noticed that they haven't like reacted to anything, so they don't have a role, so they can't see anything in the chat, and they think it's just announcements in there. So I'm about to show you guys something after I type all this up. Um, One 2834. Sounds good. All right. So, look, this is the Discord server. Now, once you get into the Discord server, there should be like a pop-up that comes up here and it leads you to rules or something like that. Leads you to rules, and then at the bottom here, if you read the rules, I don't expect everyone to read the rules, but you should read the rules. If you read the rules, all the way at the bottom it says tap roles and follow the instructions to get access to other channels. All right, now if you click that, it will send you to this roles channel. It asks you where you're from and interact with one and what type of trader you are basically here. And then this will give you a role. This will tell you that, this will basically give you a name saying that you're in the community and you're a day trader, right? All these people that are in here in the community, scalper, North America, right? If you have those under your name, if you click your name and you see that under here, that means you can access the public chat, D4X analysis, sniper analysis, profits and losses, which everyone can post in there, education, all that stuff. All right, pretty much everything here. Now, if you don't, if you don't click one of those reactions, all you're going to be able to see is the rules, roles, and announcements. That's it. So make sure you go to here and you click one of these reactions in accordance to wherever you're from and what type of trader you are. Otherwise, you won't be able to see everything. Okay, so I'm gonna have to adjust this in my daily plan and adjust it in my trading plan in my journal. Once we get off the call, that was. I'm moving kind of slow today. Let me minimize that. Okay, so next pair, GBP and ZD. GBP and ZD, we're in a strong selling area, and I'd like to see price break this uptrend and give me a correction and sell to the downside. If we go up to, will actually give me strong confirmation for that is depending on how this daily candle closes. If the daily candle closes below the zone, I'll still be looking for the sell. If it closes above the zone, I'll start eyeing buying opportunities and stop looking for the sell. All right. And the sell I'm looking for is pretty large. If I get the opportunity, I'm holding it pretty much all the way down to here, about 371. And I'd prefer this to be a 1 hour setup, or I'm looking for a 1 hour setup in this situation. So shouldn't be anything really less than at least a 5 to 1. I'm more leaning to the side of a 6 to 1 if price gives me that opportunity. What's next? Okay, now we're going to do a quick full markup on this pair. And we can pretty much see right now we're just on this big downtrend. And price is actually starting to trickle and break this trend line. So we, like, if price breaks that level, be a good indication of telling us that this trend is over and we're looking to continue up. But until that daily candle closes, can't really switch bias right now, and the reason for that is because we have this nice bearish pattern here. I'm looking to sell it. Okay. My fault. My fault. I was still on the daily. Alright. But we're going to start here. Draw a horizontal line there and a horizontal line there. And that's just signaling to us every time price is up here or comes near this area, we're looking for price to sell. Every time price comes near this area, we're looking for price to buy. Let's go down to our daily. On our daily, we already drew what we need to draw. Let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we have this uptrend here. We can start it from here, and we have an uptrend like that. We can simply say if price breaks the trend line, we're looking for a correction, looking for price to sell. Or you can go ahead and tighten it up like this and draw like that. Either way, it doesn't matter. You pretty much draw your trend line like that if you draw your trend line. Let's reset the chart. After resetting the chart, we see we don't see our supply or demand zone, so we need a new one. I'm gonna go ahead and put our demand zone right there, look to the left and see if there's another area that price is rejected. At that spot, we see price has rejected it several times there. I want to put one here based off this level and see if price has rejected that several times. It has. It has. It has. Alright, so we're keeping that zone. Just telling us this is a good area to start looking for sales at. And with price being there, it's a good indication that price could potentially sell from that point. Now at this point, since we do have basically convergence telling us that there's this possible sell area here, look for price to come down, break this trend line, give us a correction, and look to sell. If I was actually going to be day trading this, which I'm not, look for a setup on the 15-minute time frame, and bare minimum, at least for a correction to form here and a potential buy setup. So either way, I'm looking for a sell in this situation if I was day trading. Oops. Okay. So now let's draw out what I'm looking for. Now there's two potential areas I'm looking for this sell entry at. The first area is if price breaks below here pretty strongly. The first area I'm looking for price to test is here. And if price comes down, doesn't come too far past this area, I'm looking for price to test this area here. It all really depends on how aggressive this impulse is or where this impulse goes down to. That's to determine where I'm going to set my zone, my entry zone. But definitely not looking for an entry on this today. Because it's nowhere close to being set up just yet. Okay, finally, dollar Swiss. Now, dollar Swiss, it's just doing its thing right now. It's just going straight up. So, with it going straight up, I actually need to see price come down a little bit before it just continues going up and up and up and up. I need to see some type of rejection, and right now that's not happening at all. Price, like on this candle on this day, it's already broken above this high, which I was actually looking for a rejection off of this high right here. If you didn't see what I was pointing at, but price hasn't corrected at all. Price hasn't rejected at all to form a correction at all. So I just gotta keep on waiting pretty much right now, or we could look for a buy opportunity, but I would need to see the buy opportunity off the 1 hour time frame. Yeah, I would need to see a buy opportunity off the 1 hour time frame, and yeah, I'm excited to see the correction actually come, because the buyer opportunity should be really, really good. Alright, let's mark this all the way up. Start on the monthly time frame. That would actually be pretty interesting if that's what I just thought. Okay, starting on the monthly, we have price boxed in. We see price is right at this level here, midway point. We'll see how price reacts to that area. Let's go over to our weekly time frame. On the weekly, we had a downtrend. Price broke the downtrend. Price has made an impulse to move up and could potentially form a correction. If it forms a correction, we have the potential of a inverted head and shoulders for it to continue up higher, which would be a pretty good opportunity. On the weekly, there's really nothing else to do. So let's go down to our daily. On the daily time frame, we have an uptrend, but it's kind of wide, and I'll show you the uptrend that I'm seeing. Like this, it's pretty wide, so I'm not going to draw it because it's pretty far off. Price would have to correct really, really deep for that to happen, and like I don't really want extra stuff on my screen. I wouldn't really consider this an uptrend just yet because it's not really clear, at least on this time frame, that that's a second touch. So I'll wait till we get to a lower time frame. Reset the chart and we'll see. We can't see anything up high. Yeah, we're gonna have to go with this zone for now, just to box price in. Basically, the zone where I'm looking to sell at. There's a lot of sell opportunities that actually happen, or rejections that happened previously. They're actually buying opportunities. They were above this level, so look for price to test it underneath and could potentially reject there. Going down to our 4 hour time frame. 4 hour, we have this steep uptrend. Steep uptrends are easily broken, so looking for this to be broken. Looking for this to be broken, and there actually hasn't been a real pattern recently since the last time that we bought here. Yeah, I'm not seeing any real pattern that's actually formed here, so definitely looking for this to break pretty soon. And again, like this break, I'm looking for it to form. I'm looking for the break to sell off in order to form a correction. Right? If you remember from when we first started the call, I explained my setup, basically an impulse telling me the direction of the market, a correction confirming the direction of the market, and that correction is consisted of small consolidating candles moving it in the opposite direction of the impulse. Alright, so that's what I'm looking to form here, and that should expose some sell opportunities as it trickles down potentially, if it does. And once it gets to a certain area, which right now the area that I'm really interested in, off the daily, but to suffice for the inverted head and shoulders, especially on the call, it's about this area, which is pretty deep retracement. But if you're familiar with fibs, I would say look for an opportunity off the 38.2 first. or if you don't have the 38.2, the 36.2. Is it 36.2 or 36 point? It's 36 point something. Okay, so since the setup hasn't actually come for this yet, or it hasn't even started to form yet, I'm not going to send this chart out just yet. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert here. And if that happens, I'll send it out. Alright, but those are all my pairs. Let's check. Alright, so nobody sent any requests out today. Let's go to the things that we've been tracking. Okay, it looks like gold has made lower lows. It didn't reject that level and didn't break up. It has a descending channel, so could potentially look for sales, but as long as there's a downtrend, go ahead, keep looking for sales. Won't dig too deep into that because I really want to get this all out of here. Since our setup didn't happen, this is the last time I'm looking at it until someone else requested. Let's go to dollar yen. Okay, Jesus, wow. Was this? No, okay. this is a different chart. This is one that we had previously, because I was like, there it is. Okay. All right, so dollar yen has basically played out how we expected to play out since the beginning of the year. Our entry that we looked for initially when we first looked at the yen was on January 26th. It came on January 26th, and the buy opportunity that we're looking for has pretty much played out all the way to targets. Here there was no correction. Here there is a correction. There was no correction here because it's moving pretty aggressively. I would definitely not enter on this area. I would definitely not enter on this because I trade based off patterns. I don't trade based off levels just yet. And here's a nice pattern, and this was about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and gave us an opportunity to buy. Now last week I was looking for this ascending channel to actually form a correction for us and give us another buying opportunity. Didn't happen. Price just continued to scale up and again push past our targets. Let's go to our daily. I'm happy that like dollar yen has finally started to be aggressive again instead of all this nasty stuff it was doing. And let's go ahead and delete this stuff. So smart thing to do here, wait for a correction. That's pretty much it. And also watch for price to break out of this. It looks like this was a larger scale target, but I'm not gonna keep track of that. It was a large scale target to reach this area, but on lower time frame I set a target about at that high, I believe it was. But I won't keep talking about that. I don't want to keep saying it hit target, but nobody entered. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. Basically, price has a potential break out of here. And again, just watch for it at the highs. So you can watch for it here, see how price reacts at that area. Watch how price reacts at this area, but ultimately look for price to reach up to this area at that high up there. And we'll see how price reacts there. That's ultimately what I'd like to see. If it goes out and plays perfectly, and there obviously should be plenty of buying opportunities within that. but for this week, it's not really catching my eye. There's really nothing here yet. Yeah, so what I'm waiting for is a correction to form. That doesn't form, I'm not looking for an entry. If you go to lower time frame, there should be opportunities, but larger time frame, there's nothing there for us right now. Alright, so that's all the charts have for us today, or that's all that I have on the charts for today. So it should be a few good opportunities. Nothing spectacular just yet. Something spectacular might happen if GM breaks that trend line, and also if Euro JPY comes down to that, was it 4 hour zone? Yeah, gives us this 4 hour setup, be beautiful. Not this setup. No, we canceled that. Which, oh, I can just delete it. There. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So one thing I like to say to you guys, which is I believe is like extremely like necessary. If you've only been trading for a short period of time, start keeping a journal as soon as possible. No matter how no matter how detailed it is, just keep a journal because it will help you out a ton. The reason it will help you out, first and foremost, you'll be able to like analyze yourself. You'll be able to analyze your trades and have your stats. And really, the more stats you have, at least in my experience, the more stats you have, the more stats that I have, the more confident I am in what I'm doing. Right? So every time a certain pattern shows up, I'm confident in taking that opportunity because I know, okay, it's played out like this over the past 500 times I've traded it, or past 200 times I've traded it. Now, it may not always play out like this, but most likely it's going to go in this direction. So I'm going to take the opportunity. So there's really no hesitation when it comes to seeing the actual, seeing my actual setup. I'd say majority of the time. Really only hesitation comes when I know that I'm not following my rules, and basically second guessing myself in that situation. But another reason to keep a journal, because once you actually understand the real value in a journal, right? You won't have to go back through all the trades that you did that you didn't journal or didn't keep track of, and try to find something that you missed or that you did on a recurrent basis to improve your strategy, or something that reoccurs in certain situations, so that you can improve your strategy, improve your method. Speaking from personal experience. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. Like it's not something that you just keep track of your trades and like you look back on like what, like a diary or like a photo album. It's something that you're constantly studying, constantly reviewing, so that you can make adjustments in your next sample size or in the next quarter, so that you can improve. It's something that's going to help you improve. It's not something that you just do and never look at. You have to constantly review it and things like that. So definitely 100% recommend going through that. But that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end the call here. I appreciate everybody hopping on, and if you like the video, go ahead, give the video a like and hit the subscribe button to keep up with the live streams and the other featured videos. Again, if you want to join the Discord channel to see all the charts that we sent out today, the link is in the description. Also, my Instagram should be in the description as well if you want to follow me there. Warning though, on it, I don't get on social media a lot. I don't really care for it. But you can follow me there nonetheless and be able to hit me up there if you need to, or if you have a question or want to talk to me or whatever. But I'll catch you guys in the next one.